Welcome to my course Development Technology DFP50173. So my name is Muhammad Azlan Abdul Aziz. You can reach me through this number 019-285-6494, or you can use email. You can email to me azlan@pmu.edu.my. So I'll be your course instructor for the rest of the semester, and we will have 2 sessions every week. We have 5 hours contact, where we'll have around 70 hours straight up. So without further ado, I will show you the course outline for this course. Okay, so web development technology. Introduces the technique in Java technologies for web development. The course focuses on Java EE components, terminologies, concept, servlet, and JSP. Database manipulation, web development are emphasized. Upon completion, students are able to design, code, test, and debug at beginning level. Credit value for this course is 3. There is 2 prerequisites for this course. First one will be database design, DFC 20203, and then the other one will be DFC 40173, web design technology. Okay. So the remainder of the course outline is first PMU's vision. So PMU strive to be menjadi institut TVET yang unggul. The mission is to menyediakan akses kepada program TVET yang berkualiti dan diiktiraf, menghasilkan graduan holistik berciri keusahawanan dan seimbang, memanfaatkan perkongsian pintar dengan pihak berkepentingan. So the program aims, or PI, is something that after you have graduate, the program believes that each and every one of you to foster adaptable and responsible ICT advancement in supporting the National Digital Initiative Transformation Agenda. And this is in line with the Premier's ICT Sarawak transformation. Yeah, you can Google that. The PEO for this course, they have 5. So PEO, Programmable Education Objective. It is something that after you graduated, we expect you to be able to do a few or many skills. Okay. Example, PEO1, you can apply basic knowledge, understanding, and operational principle of information and communication technology in assisting to provide solution in adapting to new technological advancement. PEO2, apply a specific level of practical skills, essential tools, methods, and procedures to perform required routine or non-routine tasks. PEO03, adopt the roles of a leader and a team member and communicate effectively in assisting and providing solutions for information and communication technology, ICT. PEO04, use a variety of digital applications to seek, process, and interpret routine and complex data. PEO5, enterprisingly acquire new knowledge and skills for career advancements and assist to manage resources and information ethically. Course learning outcome, CLO, is upon completion of this course, you are expected to construct, you should be able to construct a dynamic web application using servlet, JSP, and a database within Java EE plan. The second one, you can demonstrate effective communication both orally and in writing about the integration of servlet, JSP, and web security in developing web application. CLO3, you can display the ability to visualize the development process web application. And then we have the program learning outcomes. We have 3 of them. This is something that is expected for every student 3 to 5 years after they graduated. We have 3 of them. The first one is you can communicate effectively with IT professional or other professionals in the community. Number 2, you can demonstrate strong analytical and critical thinking skills to troubleshoot and solve problems within realistic constraints by applying knowledge, principles, and skills in IT. And the last one, we feel 6, you can acquire lifelong learning and professional development to enrich knowledge and competency. So for this course, there will be no final examination, but you have final assessment. We have continuous assessment, which consists of 70%, and the final assessment 30%. So for the 70% part, we have laboratory exercise, we have a PBT presentation, PBT itself, and also 2 case study. If you manage to get more than 40% in the CA, you can sit to final assessment. 20% of them, you can go for the next one. Okay, so for teaching schedule, we have several topics: introduction to Java web technologies, developing servlets, introduction to Java server pages, deployment and security, where we'll have several assessment methods. And you should be focusing also on the non-face-to-face interaction, where you have to study on your own to get the most out of this course. Right, so for the first week, we'll go through some of the basics in web development. If we delve into a more advanced technical topic, I will explain to you web application that are available in web technologies. In this week, we will see static pages, dynamic pages, how you can develop those using Visual Code. And I'm using Visual Code because I believe most of you didn't have the high-end laptop. My colleagues asked me to use Eclipse or NetBeans, but those software requires a lot of power, and those power mean you must have a lots of RAM, a good processor in order to compile and deploy the application. So we will make do with the most basic code editor available, which is a VS Code. We will have some more manual configuration back to Eclipse, but I believe the more we do our hands-on, the more we can be more aware of the things behind the technical in developing the JSP. Okay, so first we'll see what is web application versus desktop application. So this is the definition that I Google. Web application is something that you can use through a web browser, just like the one you use to search for information or watch videos online. A web app lives on the internet and you access it by typing a special web address, which is URL, into your browser. It's like opening a book online that does something special. It could be a game, a social media site, a calculator, or even a virtual art studio. I believe you have been using web app in your daily life, things like Facebook, SPMP, those things that interact with the data, with your friend, that is web app. Things that can be accessed from your browser, from your desktop, from your laptop, from your mobile gadget. Okay, next, the desktop app is something you install on your computer or device. It's like downloading a game or program and keeping it right on your device. When you want to use the app, you click on its icon, open up on your screen. Desktop app can work even if you're not connected to the internet, which can be a bit handy sometimes. It can be a perk because we don't need an active internet connection. So there is a downside to this. However, because desktop app must be configured to the OS which is installed in that computer. If you're developing a Mac OS, you can only deploy them in Mac OS. For Windows computer, for Linux computer, you must develop from scratch. You must compile it especially for that computer. Whereas if you develop web app, you can write once, deploy it once, and it can run on all devices as long as it has a supporting browser. Okay, so this is an example of application. This one is, I believe, from Java application. So here you are from the web client. Yes, the HTTP request from the server, and the server will respond accordingly to your request. Send back your response. So they are delivered using the World Wide Web to you. So components of a web-based application, you can see here you have three: the UI UX web application components. These include activity logs, dashboard, notifications, settings, statistics. These components have nothing to do with the operation of web application architecture. Instead, they are part of the interface layout and of a web app. Client component is developed in CSS, HTML, and JS. It exists within the user's browser. There is no need for operating system or device-related adjustment. The client component is a representation of a web application functionality that the user interacts with. And the last one is the server component. The server component can be built using one or more combination of several programming languages and frameworks, including JSP and Servlet. The server component has at least two parts: the app logic and database. Okay, this simulate what you will do when you request an application from the web server. Right. So from the client PC, we request application from the web browser, and then the web server will respond accordingly. It will take the input, process it. If you require data, it will fetch them from the database server. And the storage will then return the output from its database. This can be any kind of database, whether it's SQL, NoSQL. There are so many of them. We will see them later on. Okay. In a web server, we will dabble with several technologies, but I will only teach you one, which is the JSP, the Java Server Pages. Okay. And here you have the HTML, XML, JavaScript, CSS. This one is what the user see. This one also will show you how you can create one, but I think you've seen this in your previous class, which is a web design technology. So we will dabble with all three technologies: the front end, the back end, and the server. So static web pages deals with front-end technologies, mainly there's HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript. They are sometimes called flat page or stationary page. They are delivered to the user's web browser exactly as compiled. The pages typically contain text, hyperlinks, photos, and graphics. Pages may also contain animated or interactive media such as movie clips, Adobe Flash presentation, Microsoft Silverlight. Static web pages are suitable for content that never or rarely needs to be updated and improve performance for end users. So dynamic web pages is differs from the front end, the static web pages, because this is dynamic and it deals with different kind of technologies such as CGI, GSP, AJAX, ESP, or ASP.NET. Sometimes take more time to load because they need to be compiled from time to time according to the response, because they can show information that changes frequently, such as weather updates or stock prices. Dynamic pages usually contain application programs for different services and require server-side resources like a database. The database allows the page creator to separate the web design from the content to be displayed to users. Okay, so in dynamic web pages, we will dabble also with front-end technologies. Okay? In dynamic web pages, we will have to tackle two technologies. One is the front end, the client-side scripting, and the other one is the back end, which is the server-side scripting. Again, client-side scripting is a web page that changes in response to an action within it. Uses client-side scripting, generate client-side content rather than the web server. Whereas the server-side scripting is a web page that changes when it's loaded or visited based on what's submitted to it uses server-side scripting. When the pages are loaded, server-side content is generated. Example include login pages, shopping cart, and submission form. And this is one I think you have been using it daily, such as the SPMP, where you need to log in your credential, you key in your marks, so on and so forth. Right, so that's it for the basics of week 1. We will configure Visual Code in order to do some of the exercises. Now, I wish to show you how we can use Visual Code to develop Java servlet application or JSP. So in order to do so, you will need to install Visual Code. So Visual Code is an IDE which you can download freely from the web. Just Google Visual Code. Visual Code. Okay. Go to download. Get your relevant installer, download and install it. So once you have your installer, launch the Visual Studio Code. Okay, and then I want you to go to the extensions and go to extensions pack for Java. So click this and install. Okay, there is no problem. You can see the installing message here. Make sure you have a strong internet connection to download all the relevant files. Okay, check if you have Java installed in your PC, and I think most of you have it because you have learned OOP before. So use this to check for your Java version. In Java dash version. So here I have 1.8.0. So with this, you can compile, I can run deploy Java. Okay. So all is good. can also have other extensions to help you. If you have problem, you can follow this suggestion, or you can manually do the configuration. Okay. Some were not supported, some are better to migrate. Just see whether you have the latest extension to help you with your work. To run our application, we need to install Apache Tomcat. So head on to tomcat.apache.org and find the relevant release for your PC. So I'm going to go with 9.0. And I'm going to download this. It should be available in a short while. And just to cut this, go to C, paste this. Maybe not so good with the administration permission. Just cancel this. Maybe I'm going to put this somewhere in my maybe around my documents. I'm going to put this them here. So again, strike here. I'm going to rename this. This is Tomcat. Instead of going to Tomcat and then Apache Tomcat, so I'm going to rename this. This, we paste it here. So I'm going to try to start this. So I'm going to go to CMD. Let's see. Didn't see that one here. This is in downloads. The user user cd downloads and I have Tomcat, so cd Tomcat. Going to go into this folder, so cd bin. Going to start this. Set flash startup.
Okay, so I have this problem. Java home or GRE environment is not defined. But this is just small issue. I will resolve this in our settings in Windows environment setting, environment, right? So go to environment variable. I need to put in Java home. And I need to pinpoint that somewhere so that you can find Java. So we need to configure how to get the Java running. You can see here, I have this message, neither the Java home nor the JRE home environment is defined. So I have to locate them in my PC. Okay. So just copy this and in my system variable, I'll just create new, put in Java underscore home. And then the value, just paste it. Hopefully this one will be okay. I'm going to launch under command prompt, cd downloads. By the way, I'm just going to type key to go to the downloads directory. So download cd tomcat, cd bin, and start up like that. Okay. So let's hit allow access. So the website can be viewed in the 8080 port. So get yourself a browser. So local host dot 8080. Okay, if you can see this, this means you have successfully installed. Okay. So next, what we are going to do is we are going to create some simple application, some HTML application to test our Tomcat. Okay. So we got our Tomcat running, and we are going to deploy some static web pages so that you can develop more advanced Java server pages in the future. So head on to where you unpack your Tomcat and go to your web apps and create a folder. Example, say I'm going to use something like PMU. So I head on to my Visual Code. I open a folder. So look for that folder. So PMU, here it is. Select folder. Okay, so what first you're going to do is create a folder. So that folder, you have to rename it exactly like this, which is web INF. in capital letter web INF. INF. Okay. So inside this web INF, you create a file named web.xml. So inside this web XML, we're going to put some XML pages. So we just copy this initial configuration. Hit save. Okay, now you're done. Next, you will try to test out this configuration. Create a simple web page, a static web page, with the name index.html. Okay, so I'm going to use the shortcuts to create the static pages. You can use the extension to create something fast like this. So in the body section, I'm going to put hi, my name is Aslan. Now I'm going to test this. See my Tomcat running, so I'm going to start up my Tomcat. Okay, so my Tomcat is running. I can see this here. So I'll get onto my browser. So my folder is PMU, so /PMU. There it is, my static pages.